Fine. So if you go to my site qtpselenium.com, over here there are 45 modules which are listed. In this training, we will not be doing all these 45 modules because it's not feasible to cover everything. Fine. What we will be concentrating on is like basically these topics. Hold on. Right. We will be first talking about Java. Right. Then we'll be talking about WebDriver, which is the latest version of Selenium 2.0. Okay. Then we will be doing the frameworks. Okay. Like for example, data-driven framework is there. Keyword-driven framework is there. Okay. And framework with TestNG or JUnit. Fine. So, okay. Anybody with any questions? Okay. Anybody with any questions regarding all these things?
Hello.
Yes.
Yeah, Ashok, this is Sachin Jindal. So we'll be doing both that, JUnit and TestNG, both the frameworks.
No, we will not be doing both JUnit and TestNG. We will be covering one of them, preferably TestNG because TestNG is used in the market a lot. But in the pre-recorded sessions, both of them are covered.
Okay, that's good.
Okay, the recordings which you will be getting, over 140 hours of videos, both of them will be covered. Okay. All right. So let's start with the training, and I will start with describing a brief history of Selenium, what it is, how it evolved, where is it going. Fine. So hold on, people are adding me on Skype during the training. Hold on. Yeah, you can also ask me questions on Skype. Right. So out here, fine. In the beginning, somewhere in 2007, there were 3 components of Selenium. Okay, there were 3 components. One known as IDE, right? One is WebDriver, sorry, RC. RC was initially there. Okay, and one is known as GRID. Okay, now Selenium as a tool is made for web-based applications. It can test your web-based applications and it can test them really good. Okay, fine. And you know what? When this tool came up in the market initially, right, people started using it. They started using Selenium IDE. Selenium IDE is primarily a record and run tool. What do you mean by record and run? If you don't know what record and run feature is, that's okay. As we proceed with the course, you'll come to know. And you know, every automation tool has this feature that whatever actions you perform, they are recorded. Okay, but the problem with IDE is that there is no report generation. If you have say 10,000 test cases or huge number of test cases, you cannot test them because it's not feasible, right? You cannot read your data from an external source like an Excel file or something, right? But if you have a small application, say 1 or 2 pages, and you want to just test it during the regression phase, right, then you can actually start using IDE. That is not a problem. Okay, fine. But same, the point over here which I want to say is that it's primarily a record and run tool. Okay, if you actually have an application which is changing every day, okay, if you have an application which is changing every day, and guys, please keep yourself on mute, right? And you know, for example, a website like yahoo.com, fine, everything, the links and all the headings and all, everything changes. Or a website like cnn.com, a news channel website, all the things change. So if you record tomorrow, there are possibilities that so if you record today, there are possibilities that you might not be able to run it properly tomorrow. Okay, so IDE will fail over there, right? That's why we introduced a tool like RC. But in RC, the issue is, which most of the people feel, is you have to learn a programming language like PHP, Java, Ruby, Python, Perl. It's available in various languages, right? So people started using RC then because you could make dynamic code in it, which could dynamically test your applications. Fine. Okay, but it had various drawbacks. I don't want to talk about the drawbacks right now. Many people won't understand. But yes, in layman's term, I can say that in RC, you can say there used to be a server. When you used to start that server, Okay, it never used to get started sometimes, right? So people used to log off their machines, log in again, and there were other things as well, right? So that's why somewhere in 2011 August, it was this time only, in 2011, we came up with the tool known as WebDriver, Selenium WebDriver in the market, or Selenium 2.0, it's known as 2.0, right? And it had various things, and a lot of things were included in it. It actually overcame a lot of drawbacks in RC. Fine, but there was no migration. If you think that this was migrated, no. RC and WebDriver are completely two different tools. Okay, fine. Again, WebDriver was available in various types of flavors like PHP, Java. In this training, we'll be learning Java. Okay, and then we'll be learning Selenium. Java is the most famous with Selenium, right? IDE is still there. Okay, and GRID is also there, right? Fine. So in this training, we will be doing WebDriver, IDE, and GRID. The second part, the second level. GRID is something which can help you to run your test cases parallelly. You can have a central hub and you can connect your nodes to it, okay, and run the test cases parallelly. Obviously, the only motive is to have the execution time of the test cases reduced. If you have got 10,000 test cases, which take say 10 hours to execute, right, with GRID you can scale down the time of execution. Okay, fine. Now moving ahead, let's talk about automation a little bit. Fine, before I jump over to Selenium, right, and I tell you how Selenium works and I tell you a little bit more about the course and all. Fine, let's talk about automation first. That what is actually automation? Why is it getting famous? And uh, what is the future of Selenium as well? Right. So,
Ashish,
yes.
I have a small question. So after 2011, let's say August, the support for this RC was like discontinued or?
Discontinued. Whatever, the API is still there. If you want to use it, you can use it, but there will be no modifications. There is no support for RC or WebDriver also. Only thing is, these tools are there. Modifications are done in WebDriver. Okay, by Selenium HQ. There is no support as such. This is an open source tool.
In that sense only I wanted to ask. Like,
Yeah.
all that means there was no new modifications in the RC after that.
Yeah. No. Look, WebDriver came in 2011. Okay, the version was 2.0.
Yes.
Okay, now it is 2.47. Between 0 and 4.7, the majority of the changes have been bug fixes. The major API is still the same. The majority of the API is still the same. Okay, right. Now moving ahead, right, where are we going with this tool? Look, yeah, still companies, they use RC. Okay, there are some companies which still use RC because their systems are already made in that, they are stable and they don't want to migrate, spend money on migrating the project unnecessarily when the scripts are running stably on RC. But all the new development and all, and majority of the projects have gone on to WebDriver. Okay, fine. Now, initially the support for mobile automation was not there in Selenium. Okay, mobile automation was not there. Later, they introduced it only for the browsers on mobile. Okay, not the application. Okay, not the apps. Then, they felt the need that fine, you have to automate the mobile apps as well. Okay, so they came up with a new tool known as Appium. Okay, another new tool came up, Selendroid. Selendroid is a little unstable. There are a lot of defects in it. Okay, but the tool Appium which has come up, it is good for both Android and iOS. The only prerequisite for this tool is that you need to learn Selenium. Okay, and it can test both browsers as well as apps on your mobile. Okay, browsers as well as apps are supported on the mobile. Right. So now moving ahead, right, in this course we'll be doing Selenium. For Appium we have a separate course. It's altogether a different scenario. right? In this course, I'll be covering Selenium, but just I gave you an idea, right? Now, um, talking about what is automation, right? Look, obviously everybody knows automation testing is something which happens by itself, but why is it used? Okay, it is only used to save the time, right? Look, when a project is made, over a period of time, the project gets stable. Everybody must be knowing who has done the manual testing. If the project is newly built, it's got a lot of defects, but over a period of time, it gets stable. But if you change a little bit in the project, you have to do end-to-end testing on all the environments, production, UAT, everything, right? And you have to then release the new thing, which is a very tedious thing. Because I know that, for example, I know that a product like gmail.com, it is very stable. No bugs are there. But if the developers change a little thing in it, I'll have to completely test Gmail again. So that creates a problem. Okay. So that's why we introduce automation. And automation is, if you take hold of any tool, QTP or Test Complete or Selenium, right? Automation is always done on stable projects. Don't try to use automation on projects which are unstable and which have a lot of defects. Okay, right? And moreover, suppose there is a scenario. Okay, I tell you that fine, write a program or write an automation script to go to, say, yahoo.com and log in into your Yahoo mail account. Okay, probably if you manually log in into your Yahoo mail account, it will take you 2 minutes to log in, right? But if you try to make a script, maybe it will take you 1 hour to write the code which will log you inside yahoo.com. So the building the code of automation testing is a tedious process. It takes a lot of time. It takes more time than manual testing, but once the script is ready, it saves a lot of your time. Okay, and it is not that when the script becomes ready, when you write a program, to automate an application, it is a stable program. No, right? If I tell you from my experience, if I take a graph like this, right, on the x-axis, I'll write, say, time and stability. This is the stability of your automation script. When you write the automation script and you run it for the first time, it will give you issues. And then you will think that fine, manual testing was better. Okay, no, it is not the case. When you write the script for the first time, it will be unstable. Okay, and with time, right, the stability, sorry, I wrote the stability of the script, it keeps on increasing. Right, in this time you will feel that fine, my manual testing was better. Why are we doing automation, right? But over a period of time, the script becomes stable. So our motive in this course is to learn Java and automation, right? Now Java is the backbone for Selenium. Okay, what I am assuming is that you at least know these basic things, like what a for loop is, what if statement is, right? Or what, say, for example, your functions are. Okay, if you are someone who has never done programming, never ever done programming, right? You should be able to, like, you should be aware of the fact that you need to be good in programming for Selenium. I'll not put you under some wrong impression. Okay, you have to be good. If you are the one who has never done programming, then don't join the course directly. Buy the access to the videos first, later pay the remaining money and join the course. Okay, so I'm assuming you know these things, loops, what is looping, what are arrays, what are functions, some basic things, right? So now let's start. Okay, giving you a course about the duration of the course and all. Every Saturday and Sunday we will have the class for 2 hours. Fine. And the course duration, it takes nearly 25 to 30 hours to complete the course. Okay, so if we do 4 hours a weekend, then maybe 6 to 7 weekends we should be able to do it. That's what I think. Fine. So right, And today I'm taking a class for 1 hour because I have to leave for some place for some important work, right? So that's the problem. So instead of 2 hours class, I'm taking a 1 hour class today, right? Now let's move ahead and learn Java, right? To learn Java, first of all, you have to install Java, okay, right? So the timings are from 9:30, the same time, 9:30 p.m. Indian time, which is 12 o'clock in the noon Eastern time, 5 o'clock in the evening UK time. Okay, right. So the first thing is you need to install JDK. All right. I hope you have Java installed, but instead of, like, if you have installed JRE, you need to install JDK as well. Just download JDK. And please, guys, don't upgrade your systems to Windows 10. Windows 10 is still unstable. Lot of softwares are not working on it. Java also gives a little issue in it. So, and Eclipse as well. Eclipse is editor for Java. So please be a little careful before upgrading to Windows 10. Wait for 5 months or so. Let the whole thing get stabilized and then upgrade. Okay, so you can go to the first link over here, Java downloads, right? And out here, you will have this Java platform JDK download. You download it from here, and based on your operating system, whether it is 64-bit or 32-bit, you download and install it. Fine. Once you have installed Java, you need to go to google.com and download Eclipse. Eclipse is the editor for Java language. Okay, all your code and all whatever we are going to write will be written inside Eclipse. So you need to write a download Eclipse, right? Go to Eclipse downloads. Oh, sorry. Go to Eclipse downloads and right, and you will have Eclipse IDE for Java EE developers. You can download from here. You extract it, you have the exe file. Eclipse comes as a bundle, you don't need to install it, and just run the exe file. Here is my Eclipse on my PC. I'll just run Eclipse and it will launch. Okay, so just hold on. Just hold on, let it launch. So anybody with any questions, please tell me now. Please tell me now. Right. So out here,
Yeah, Ashish,
yes,
this is Narendra. I just have a question. Like you told that whenever we develop a script in automation, in the beginning it is very unstable, and by the time it becomes stable. My experience is a little opposite. I believe very first time when we are developing automation script and we debug it, definitely in the beginning we have to debug it. It works fine, but it starts becoming problem when over the time either application changes without keeping automation team in the loop, or some patches or some upgrade happens. So I'm not
yes.
sure. So I wanted to
Look,
say that
I'm
how
talking
you
about.
say that
I'm talking about
automation in
this.
the beginning.
I'm talking about the stability from the terms that if the application does not change. Okay. I'm not
No, so
saying
so
yes,
no, so
if the
you will
application is
agree with
changing.
me. You will agree with me as a automation developer. If I develop a script day one, I debug it. I sleep in the night, in the morning it is working. Next day it is working. But maybe down the lane after 5 days or 10 days or maybe after 20 days something
Look,
changes,
I got your
right?
point, Narinder.
Yeah,
Then
yeah,
I got your point. If something is changing in the application, then obviously the script has to be changed. It will fail. But I
right.
told, I made that graph assuming that the uh, application is not changing. But yes, if the application is changing, then you'll have to
No,
modify your
but
script.
no, but if application, sorry, I don't want to take everybody's time. Just I want to clarify. Like I want to understand. I'm here to learn from you. That's why it's a doubt. So I'm saying when first time you're developing a script, you debug it until unless you see some issues, right? You will not say that you have completed your script. When you see that you are able to run it error free and you mark it, yes, it's ready for now to be added to the suite, at that point you say it's working fine. Till then, you cannot call it that it is not stabilized. You don't start using it. That is my experience with the QTP. I'm very much new to Selenium and that's why I'm here. But
Look, with the
the
stability,
statement,
I mean that when you run the script 5 times, it gives you the same result.
yeah.
Okay, it happens sometimes that when you have made the script freshly, okay, you run it, it will give you a result. But when you again run it, it might not give you the proper result. It might not run properly. So by I meant to say that if you have made a script and if you want that script to be stabilized, I'm assuming that the application is stable. Okay, it takes a little time. But if the developer has changed the application, then obviously everybody has to change the script. And this is a problem with automation. And that's why I told in the beginning, it should be done on stable projects which are stable enough, right? Obviously, if the application is changing, you have to make the script again, or you need to modify it a lot. And generally, this happens in the companies, the automation teams, they make the script, and generally they're not kept in the loop, and the application changes.
Yeah, right. Yeah, means I work for GE here. Our goal is only to touch automation when any application is in production, and before we start developing, it should be error free, at least the area that we are developing. So anyway, thank you very much. That was just my thought I wanted to give you.
Okay.
You have a vast knowledge and you have a lot of skill set and knowledge. Just I wanted to clear my doubt with you.
Yeah, okay, no, not a problem. Right, so let's move ahead. Fine. So, okay, Selenium handles Windows. Yeah, Selenium can handle everything. It can handle Windows. It can handle pop-ups, everything. We'll do that in the course. Okay, so this is Eclipse, right? On the left-hand side, there are few modules or few projects which I have already made, right? For this training, I'll make a new Java project. You can right-click over here and select new project. Okay, a Java project, or if you don't get the option, you can go to other, and under general you can select the hold on, sorry, not under general but under Java, you can select a Java project. Okay, fine. You click on next and give the project name. I'll call it as day 1, right? Or weekend batch. I'll just call it weekend batch, right? And finish. So this is a new project which is made. Fine. And if you expand it, you will have a source folder here and a GRE system library. Right. Now, why am I emphasizing on Java? Okay. The reason for that is, right, if you go to the hold on, Ruma is asking a question. For sanity testing, we need. Yeah, at times you can use it. It all depends on the project, Ruma. Okay, how your project is, right? So, right, I'll just tell you something. If you move to the official website of Selenium, which is seleniumhq.org, right? Out here, the first line is obviously your Selenium automates browsers, right? And if you go to the download link, fine, you will find that there is a Java doc. This is the official documentation of Selenium with Java, right? If you go to this Java doc link, you will have this Java documentation. Fine. And under this documentation, okay, you'll not be able to understand anything from it right now. So you need to learn Java, and you need to learn the concepts of object-oriented programming. Okay, so let's start with that, right? And this is the project. If you right click on the project, you will see that there will be a properties option. Fine. If you go to the properties, these are the project properties. This is the location of the project in your machine. Fine. If I physically go to that location, hold on. right? Does WebDriver supports mobile testing? No. Appium is the right tool. Okay, you can go to the website qtpselenium.com/appium, /mobile. You will see the information on that. Okay, right. Hold on. I'll tell you, Dhwani. Just be with me. Right. So if you go to the physical location where the project is lying, this project is lying at this location, you will see some folders. The source folder will be one of them, and some files. Out of all these things, right, in Eclipse, you will be just able to see the source folder. Okay, source folder is the main folder. Right now it's empty, and all the Java files and Java coding which we'll be doing inside the source folder. Okay, GRE system library is actually Java which was installed on your system. Okay, it gets associated with every project by default. Alright, so inside this source folder, I'll make a new class known as Java Basics. Okay, with the main function. You check on this checkbox. Okay, and finish. Let the class be made. Right. Yes, Ajax based applications can also be done. That is not a problem. Okay, Ajax based applications can be done. Right. So this is a class which is made, which we just created, public class Java Basics. Fine. Starts with the opening brackets, end with the closing bracket. This is the main function. Main function is then in every programming language. It is a function in which the control comes up by default. Okay, when you run the program. Okay, so now out here in this class, if I write system.out.println, this is the command to print something in Java language. System.out.println, right? Hello. So you can type SYSO and hit the control spacebar of your machine. Okay, this will come up. Right, the shortcut is control spacebar after typing SYSO. Right, to run the program, here is the run icon on the top. You can click on it and this will execute the program. Just hold on, and at the bottom under the console, you will see the output. Okay, no, we use Eclipse. Majority of the PC companies are using Eclipse. Right, so hold on, Narendra. I'll come over to everything. Okay, I'll come over to everything. Just hold on. Okay, now out here, okay, out here, I'm assuming that you at least know what an integer is. Say int I is equal to 100. You know what a for loop or a while loop is. That's what it's all about, right? And now the main thing is learning the concepts of oops, right? So let's start with it. Okay, let's start with the basic things, right? So out here, I will go to the physical location, the weekend batch, right? In the source folder, you will see the Java Basics file. Okay, and if you go to the bin folder, okay, you'll see a bin folder out here. Inside it, you will have the class file corresponding to Java files. Okay, fine. And what is this class file? This class file is like an executable file. You can put it on any operating system and it can execute. You cannot, if you open it, even if you try to read it, you will not be able to do it. Okay. Yes, you will get the recordings of this class, Kavita. Yes, I am recording the class. Okay, you cannot read, you cannot understand this file even if you open it in a text pad or something, right? So this is like an executable file. Every Java file gets converted to a class file, right? Even if I make a new Java file, for example, I'll create a new class known as say print.java. Okay, and inside it I will just print Selenium. right? And when you run this, right, when you run Selenium, so the Selenium gets printed out here. Okay, right. Now there is one thing. Sometimes people, they actually end up closing the console, or they actually end up closing this package explorer, and then they worry that where everything has gone. Okay, if you by chance, if you close these things, you can get them working. You can go to window, show view, you can open console from here, it will come back. And if you go to window, show view, project explorer, your project explorer will also come back. Fine. Okay, so now just a minute. Yeah, if you, as I was telling you, the class files, right, the print.class file, right, the print.class file will be generated over here, and print.class file has all the converted code, the Java code, it gets converted into, you can say, a machine language. It is there inside it, and every Java file is converted to a class file, right? The class file is like a machine language code. If you open it, you will not be able to understand. It's like an executable. If you have to deliver this to the client, you deliver the class file to the client, right? Now in a single project, there is just not one Java file made. There are number of Java files made. There are thousands of Java files made. So corresponding to every Java file, there is a class file. Okay, corresponding to every Java file, there is a class file. And if we have to deliver all these class files to the client, okay, if we have to deliver all these class files to the client, we cannot just deliver them one by one. We have to actually put them in a single file and deliver them to the client. What I mean to say is that if there are many class files, okay, so what we do is that we put them in a single file. This file is known as the jar file, and we deliver it to the client. So jar file is nothing but collection of class files. Okay, right? And hold on, let me get rid of it here. And out here, if you look at your Eclipse, right? If you look at the project, right? In the project, I have this GRE system library. You see this GRE system library out here. This is nothing but Java, which is installed in your system, right? If you expand this, you will find lot of jar files. Java is nothing but set of jar files. These jar files are created by the people who made Java. If you expand any one of the jar files, for example, rt.jar, this is the main jar, right? If you expand this, you will find many class files under this. So we can use these class files to work in Java. For example, if I write over here system.out.println new date. Okay, what is date? Date is the internal class which represents a general date, right? Hold on. You import java.sql.date from here. Okay, don't worry what this new is and all, and what this static is. We'll do it in some time. I'm just giving you a general idea. Okay, date is one of the classes inside Java. It is one of date.class is there in one of these class files. Okay, when you run this, it prints the current date. So date.class is one of the classes in these jars. Okay, if I hold the control button of my keyboard, right, it will look like a link. Fine. If you click on this, if I hold the control button of the keyboard, it will look like this, a link. And if I click on it, right, it's like calling the function. Yes, date.class is highlighted. See, here it is. Okay, it is in one of the jars. So it's an inbuilt utility. right? So jars give us inbuilt utilities which we can use. All right. Similarly in Selenium, okay. Similarly in Selenium, right? If you go to the official website of Selenium, right, you have the download link. Okay, this is the download link. Fine. You can click on it and probably download the latest version of Selenium. Let me download the latest version. Just hold on. Right. And you will have nothing but you will have the jar files of Selenium. Okay. Selenium never comes with an exe. There is no exe for Selenium. Okay. The jar files are there for Selenium. Right. For example, just a minute. The older jar files of Selenium I have actually kept at certain location. Just a minute. Just 1 minute. Yeah. So if I go to my PC, if I go to my E drive, softwares, and just a minute. I already have the older jar files. Yeah. So yeah, this is the folder. Okay, I have Selenium 2.44 with me. Fine. And out here, you have the libs folder. Okay, where you will find all the Selenium jars. Okay, when you download, you will have the lib files having all the jars, and along with that, you will find that these two jar files are also there. Okay, like Selenium Java 2.x.jar and Selenium Java sources. You don't need this sources.jar. This is the source code of Selenium. It's open source, so anybody can download the source code. But this is the main jar file. This is the main jar file of Selenium, and along with it, the other jar files are inside the library folder. So you have to make this project Selenium enabled. For that, you will have to import those jar files in this project. Okay, till now I just have the Java jar files. Okay, so you right click on the project and again go to the properties. Right, and you will have the Java build path option. Fine, you go here, click on add external jars. Fine, and you have all these jars and all. Okay, so you select all of them and open. Right, you include all of them. Right, and you also include this Selenium 2.44.jar or 2.47 in your case. You also include this one. Okay, so make sure you include all the jars inside the library. At times people don't do it and they fall into trap. So as soon as you click on OK, you will have all the jars coming up. Okay, the better thing is that inside Eclipse, you switch over to Java perspective. Okay, you click on this icon over here. A small icon will come, open perspective. Look at my mouse. Okay, you click on that and select the Java perspective, and yeah, you should be working in Java perspective, and you will have all these jars in your project, and your project is now Selenium enabled. Now to make use of this project, okay, to make use of the Selenium, you need to know the concepts of object oriented programming. Okay, right. So the concept of object oriented programming starts obviously with, hold on, I'll create a new class. Right, I start with creating a generic class. For example, I create a class known as mobile phone. Okay, right, and no main function in this, just a class mobile phone empty class. Right, one of the properties of mobile phone is the name of the mobile phone. Okay, right? Now what I'll do is that I'll make another class known as test mobile. So I'm going to the concepts of object oriented programming now. Okay, not to Selenium. I've made my project Selenium enabled, but I'll start working with Selenium in some time, right? So test mobile is another class, right? Inside it, I'll do something. I'll create the object of mobile phone class, right? This is how you create the object, new mobile phone. Many of you must have seen lines like these, right? Okay. So what happens practically when you create the object? Right, when you create the object of a class, inside the memory, a space is allocated like this. Okay, hold on. Sorry. In the memory, a space gets allocated, right? Okay, and inside this space, the property name will be there. All right. If I create two objects, then in the memory, two spaces will be allocated and every space would have the property name. Fine. But you know, these objects are just hanging. You need to access them. You need to change the name in every object. Probably I want to name my first object as iPhone and probably the second object as say Nokia. Right. So what I have to do is that I have to give them references. So we write like this: mobile phone C1, say M1 equals to new mobile phone, right? And mobile phone M2 equals to new mobile phone. So what happens is that with this M1 and M2, okay, M1 and M2 actually become the two object references, sorry, not the objects, but object references, right? They point towards the objects like this. M1 and M2 will point towards the objects. And with M1 and M2, you can change the state of the object. You can write over here M1 dot, you will get the option name. Say name is Nokia and M2 dot name is iPhone. Okay, so I can give every object a different property. Right, this mobile phone has just one variable name, but to that variable I'm assigning different values for different objects. If I print over here M1 dot name and M2 dot name, right, and if I run this, obviously it will print the same thing, Nokia and iPhone. Right, now if I write over here M1 equals to M2, right, if I write M1 equals, look, I'm not going to directly going to Selenium, just be with me for some time. Okay, if I write M1 equals to M2, M1 will stop pointing here and M1 will start pointing towards the location where M2 is pointing. So M1 and M2 will point towards the same object. Okay, so if I print this again after writing this line, hold on. If I run this, see, now it will print Nokia iPhone and after that iPhone and iPhone. That's it. Okay, right. If any one of them changes the state, if I write m1 dot name is now say Android, right? And if I print both m1 and m2 now, you will see that both of them will print Android. Because one object reference can change the state, the other object reference will access the updated state. Right? Okay, fine. So this object will be destroyed because no reference is on it. So these two m1, m2 will point towards this object. So similarly, in Selenium, we do the same kind of thing. Right? For example, there is a class in Selenium known as Firefox driver. You create the object of this class. Okay, I'll move the mouse over this and I'll import my Firefox driver. Right? You create the object of Firefox driver. This is an internal class. You need to import it. Right? When you write over here, you will get an error. You move your mouse over the error and select import. Okay. When you create the object of Firefox driver, if I run my program, sorry, you will see that. Hold on. A blank Firefox window will open. Hold on. Firefox has stopped working. Okay, there is some issue with my Firefox. I have done that issue to it. Okay, I have done something with my Firefox. It's not working. But yes, if you do it on your PC, if you run this program, it will open up Firefox. Okay, right? See, it's open now. Actually, I did some changes in my Firefox, so that's why it's not working properly. But it does open after some time. Right. So what I mean to say is that everything in Selenium is inbuilt. You don't need to worry. There are inbuilt classes. You need to work with these classes. Right. If you go to the documentation of Selenium, right, then these are all the classes. Probably you have to create objects of some of these classes, work with them and stuff. So that's what we will be doing in the course. I'll be teaching you Java, then parallelly I'll be teaching you the concepts of Selenium and then coming back to Java. Right. So anybody having any questions till now about anything, about the course, about this code which I have written or about Selenium, anything? Any questions from anyone? Okay, there's a question being asked, do you teach frameworks? Yes, we will be doing frameworks like a data driven or a keyword driven. What is a framework? Framework is something which will help you to read your or run your tests end to end. If you have got 100 test cases, right, you want to generate reports, you want to read the data from some external Excel source and all. So that's what Selenium does. Flash scenarios, Selenium does not support officially, but you can work with Flash with Selenium, but you will get issues. It's not very simple. Okay, you need to have the, the source code of the Flash application. Yes, a question being asked is Firefox driver is inbuilt class. Yes, it is a class in one of these jars. Okay, if I make sure you have clicked on this icon on the top, the right and left arrows, link with editor. Okay, so when you click on the Firefox driver link, right, this will open. Gee, this is the class, right? I'm creating the object, I'm writing new Firefox driver. The only thing is I did not create a reference. Okay, I can write Firefox driver. Hold on. Oh, just a minute. I can write like Firefox driver f equals new Firefox driver, right? Okay, the question being asked is interview questions and practice exercises of what is the best site. Look, there are a lot of things available on Geek Interview and all, right? Geekinterview.com. But along with this course, people who have registered, generally they don't scroll down. If you scroll down to the last module is on hold on. I just released it. It's on interview questions. It's around 3 hours of discussions on interview questions, but don't watch it directly. First learn Selenium and go through the course. Okay. Right. So any questions from anyone else? No, M1 and M2 are not objects. Technically, M1 and M2 are known as object references. Okay. These are references. They point towards the objects. This is the object. New mobile phone. This is how you create the object. Okay. And M1 and M2 are known as the references of the object. Okay. They point towards the object, and probably you can actually make M1 point towards M2 or something else as well, like I did. No, I don't know, but when people they try to use Selenium ID, then they jump over to WebDriver, because ID is not a good tool. You should not waste your time using it. Good companies, they don't use ID. Yes, Maven is there. Obviously, we cannot do without Maven. Maven and all these tools we will be looking up. These are very simple tools. Okay, they are not difficult ones. Okay, very simple. Only thing is people don't know about them. It's just configuration. That's it. Like if I tell you like how difficult is it to say install an exe file on your PC, you say that it's very easy. You just need to download and install exe. That's it. It's as easy as that. Okay. So right. So I'll stop here. Unfortunately, I just have to take a class for 1 hour. I have to go for a marriage ceremony today. Okay, it's a Saturday weekend, so a lot of marriages are happening out here. So we will meet tomorrow, same time, right? If you want